Hello YouTubers, RogueMonkeyJr here, and in today's video we're going to talk about why Bangalore needs a buff. So Bangalore is one of the few characters that hasn't seen a whole lot of buffs or nerfs since the launch of Apex Legends. I mean, she's had a few very minor tweaks, but there hasn't been much done to her other than those very small tweaks. Now Bangalore obviously is a character that you can play right off the bat when you start playing Apex Legends, and I think she's probably one of the easier characters to learn how to play because it reminds you a lot of, you know, just run and gun type of mentality like other first person shooters. I mean, you have smoke that you can pop, you have an airstrike, and when you get shot at, you get a nice little speed boost that allows you to run away from your enemies. So pretty much just like the generic character that you would have in a first person shooter. So very easy to understand for new gamers that are coming to Apex Legends. Now, as far as pick rates go, I think Bangalore is maybe in the bottom half of the pick rates for characters in Apex Legends. Of course, Wraith, Lifeline, Revenant now being at the top of the pick rate list because of the buffs that they've gotten. Same thing for Caustic, while Bangalore just stays where she's at all the time. She's not really the most picked legend, and I also feel like some legends have a lower pick rate than Bangalore because they are harder to learn, not necessarily because they are worse than Bangalore. So let's take a look at her double time ability. So when you get shot at, you get a 40% speed increase boost for a limited amount of time. So this is great. It makes you a lot harder to hit. So I don't really think I would change this. Maybe add on to the passive that when you're in the active double time, your reload speed is perhaps faster because you're in this moment of adrenaline, and it would make sense for you to have like heightened reflexes and senses and whatnot. So maybe have a faster reload while you're in that double time passive. As for her tactical ability, now the smoke is, for me, it's kind of like a 50-50. It helps you at the same time as it can hurt you and your teammates. So I feel like the smoke kind of benefits and doesn't benefit everybody that's in that zone at that moment, unless of course you have a digital threat sight, in which case if you do pop the smoke, then it is really strong because chances are not everybody's gonna have a digital threat in the two teams that are fighting in that specific area. So if you have the digital threat or your team has the digital threat, I think it is very good to pop smoke. But if not, it's just that kind of ability that it kind of hurts and helps everybody at the same time. It can be very good when you're trying to escape combat and popping smoke behind you. But for me, the tactical ability is it's just there. I don't really think that there's a whole lot they could do to change this ability to make it better. Maybe Bangalore could see a little bit better in the smoke or be able to distinguish shapes better in the smoke. I don't know. It's just a swing and a miss for me, that ability. It mostly helps me when I play Bangalore to get away from my targets rather than shooting smoke mid-fight and just having this big melee, just big pile of people fighting that don't really see what's happening. Finally, we have her ultimate ability. Now, this is the one that I think could use the most work. So I went into the firing range to see how long it took from the moment Bangalore threw her ult to the moment that the airstrike actually started exploding. So it takes a whole 12.1 seconds for her artillery strike to actually start blowing up and damaging the enemies. Now, 12.1 seconds, that is a long time to give your enemy to react to whatever's happening around them. Do you really get hit by Bangalore ults all that often unless you're like in a really bad situation where you have your back against the wall and the ult's right in front of you? You might get hit by one bomb, but I don't feel like it does enough for how long it takes to recharge. Maybe if the ult charged faster, then it would be a balancing factor. Okay, so you have an ult that's available maybe 2-3 times a game if you don't use an ultimate accelerant, but it has the 12.1 second delay in which it actually does something to help you. Or on the flip side, you could have the ult that takes long to load, like right now, but it takes a lot less time for it to actually work to do something. So from the time that the artillery strike comes down to it starts blowing up, if it would be much shorter, then the enemies would have much less time to react, because right now it's just you throw your ult, okay, you see this flare go up in the sky, at that point you know the Bangalore ult is coming and you can just bob and weave or get the hell out of there, because you know there's going to be like 4 rows of shells coming in, and generally speaking, if you saw the direction the ult is being thrown, you're going to know which bombs to avoid first, because it's always the same pattern. So that's something else they could change, is make the pattern completely random so enemies wouldn't know which bomb is going to blow up first, which would make it a little bit more effective. They could also make the timer for the bombs blow up faster, but have them do less damage to balance it out. I just feel like Bangalore's ult isn't really that useful. You get stunned by it, your teammates get stunned by it, so you can't really push an enemy. I feel like the only real use to Bangalore's ult is just to scatter a fight or slow down an enemy team that is pushing you. That's really all it does. When I throw a Bangalore ult, it is very rare that I will get damage with that ult unless there's a down target somewhere. I might kill him, might not if he has his knockdown shield up. So for an ultimate, I feel like hers is probably one of the weaker ultimates among all of the legends in the game. So that is where they could do the most work in improving Bangalore's usability and maybe pick rate. But yeah, these are my thoughts on why Bangalore would need a buff or some tweaks here and there to her abilities. I do want to get your thoughts on this. Do you think they're good ideas? Do you think they're bad ideas? Do you have some ideas of your own on how some of her abilities could be reworked or completely change what she does as a legend? Let me know all that in the comment section down below. And don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.